Welcome back, my friends. In today's video, we are focusing on playing with the Annie Williams Country Christmas collection by Spellbinders. Now, I'm weaving in a few other things because I've just been playing and having fun and mixing and matching and all of that good stuff because I like to just play in my craft room. But I went ahead and made a couple of these color decks cards from the new release. This is the Christmas collection, that the add-on that they did. And I created 2 cards already with this collection that I wanted to share with you. So this one is using this color collection here, or this card decks here. And I chose these colors from this picture that I added to my color decks. I just looked in here and it is very odd, the color scheme. I played with it, and my thought for this card was, even though this is a very plain barn, my theme for this card was the sentiment. True love was born in a stable. Well, of course, we all know this is probably not what the stables looked like way back when, but I brought in Simon Hurley's nativity set from his snow globe collection from my stash from way back when. And I went ahead and added a little nativity in the stable. I added some of the treasured cardstock, the antique color that's new, and I used the splatter white on the navy background to create our stars in the sky. And then I added a star there as well, which is from the Wise Men set that is out in a different collection this month. So I added that for the star above the manger. So I purposely made this Annie's barn super plain and drab in the background, because that is not the point of Christmas. Christmas is right here. So that is what I wanted to portray in this card, is true love was born in a stable, which is one of Annie's beautiful sentiments from her collection. Her sentiments are lovely. So I wanted to do that, and that was just a thought I had. And when I saw this color scheme, that made me think that it would be perfect for this idea. So that is where I went with that one. And then this one, I had this foil paper I just really wanted to use in the embossing folder. I actually had shared this with you in the up close video for the new release. I already had it embossed out to share with you, and I saw this color in this card decks. So I wanted to go ahead and continue with that. So I chose this green to go along with that color. So I went ahead and used that right there. And then I added other colors from here to go along with it and tied this whole card in together. Very simple season greetings card, but I did use Annie's embossing folder. These trees are from one of her sets as well. And then of course her sentiment from her greetings. Now her sentiments have 3 different dies that can be used for her different sentiments. So that's kind of neat that you can make them look different. So that is my second one. That's the first two of the color decks from the new sets that I've used. So we're going to actually work on 2 other cards here in the video. I just wanted to share those little samples with you first. We are going to finish another one of Annie's barns. This one is a more traditional barn. And I've already done the majority of all the die cutting and everything. We're going to finish it up by doing the background, because I want to get a second card in the making in this video as well. So there's our card base, and here's our background. So I wanted this card to be more summery, spring, instead of Christmas, just to show versatility, because these barn cards are they are so popular. When I had a sale last spring, all of my barn cards from my club cards that had the barn scenes in it all sold immediately. They were the first thing that sold. So anything with a barn in it seems to be top sellers. So I wanted to use this in more ways than just what we're going to see out there by a lot of makers, which is going to be Christmas. So I wanted to do it this way as well. I love the horse from the carriage set of hers. And so I put the horse in the barn, and then I pulled in some of my other farm animals from the previous farm set that had different animals in it. Now, some of the animals are a little large for this barn, so I kind of improvised, just like the horse. It's a little tall from the carriage, but it worked perfectly by using the head. But the body itself is kind of up to here. So for perspective, in my world, I look at perspective, and it just seemed a little high for me to put it out here. So I wanted it on a smaller card anyways, so I could show the barn being used both on a 5x7, which can go this way or this way on a full scene, or it can also be used on an A2. So I'm showing it both ways. And this, it could go on an A2 like this, but you would probably have to chop this down just a little bit. You could, though, do that, and we could have actually, you know what? Actually, I think we're going to do that today. Why don't we do that today? Because I want to be able to use a stencil, and it's a it's an A2 stencil. So we're going to do that. We're going to cut this off on the sides so we can give us clouds and give us grass. I think that'll be great. Okay. I also made a little bird feeder. Check this little bird feeder out. I made this little bird feeder. I used a piece of packaging right here so it would be clear. Then I put little tiny sequins. These are the tiniest sequins in the new Altenew sequins that were released in June. These are little gold ones, but I wanted it to look like birdseed. So I put that in the bird feeder, and I just love this bird feeder. I could totally see putting this in so many different seasons of projects, and you wouldn't have to put the welcome sign on it, but I wanted that to be our sentiment. So that is why I used it today, and it will probably just sit something like this. If I go this direction, see, I'm sitting designing this now while I'm thinking about it. You know, I may not have as much space for this though. I guess we could put it lower in the grass. Or do I want to do it this way? Maybe we will go this way, and we'll just play with the way the stencil works. We'll just make it our own. That way we can have the bird showing more too. Because we're also going to have our little piggy in the mud, because he's got him some mud, and he gonna be in the mud. And then we got little mama chick, and we got our little baby chicks. See, we got a whole little farm going on here. See that? Isn't that gonna be cute? So cute. Okay, so let's move this aside and let's think of our background. Now I'm gonna bring in a Hero Arts older stencil. It's just called Color Layering Clouds Stencil, SA241. I have never used this before. I'm going to sit it right here so we can see the packaging. But the way it works is you do this large amount first, and you see how it's going to go off the sides. That's the part I'm worried about. So we're going to have to do this so that it doesn't do that. And then it has a continuation over here. And that's the problem with doing it this direction. So, do I want to risk it, or do we want to do it the other way? See, I always can make it work. Actually, you know what? Maybe it'll be easier if I do it with this one. Take that big one out of play. Then I'm looking here, here, and here. We've got those 3 lines. We can tip this a little bit. I'm also looking here. I don't want jagged edges. So we could do that. And then let me just get a little pencil real quick. And just make me some little marks here. If I have those, and then I can put those in here to line that up a little bit. I might be able to continue them or it might just look really funny. So we will have to see. Why don't we just play around and see? We will just see what happens. But we are going to use some tape because I do not want to have a ton of grass or sky down in my grass as everything falls on me. So let's get us our mint tape out here. Let's give us a grounding place where we want our grass to fall. So why don't we just protect our grass by doing that? Because then anything below that will be green. Maybe we'll go a little lower than that. Like so. So it keeps your paper in place too. Okay, let's move those out of the way. Remember, these are just the marks from my pencil. So I'm going to tilt this a little bit. I'm trying to avoid harsh lines. So I'm also going to tape this right here so I do not accidentally go over that and give us a harsh line right there. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a really light color. This is Iceberg. I am all thumbs today, man. We have had a really stressful week this week here in the Smith household. So I am just like, ooh. But I have needed this playtime, let me tell you. So I'm glad I'm here with you today. Okay, there is a little area I did not mark off. So let me go ahead and put a little more right there so we don't have an error right off the beginning of this. We don't want any errors. Now I could be doing this on my sticky mat, but I didn't get it out. I think it's going to be just fine because remember, clouds do not have to be perfect. They're never the same up in the sky. You can totally make it your own. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. Okay. That bottom line, remember, does not have to move up. So now, let's see where we want to go with this. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try to kind of come in along with that. Maybe a couple of the humps go along with it so it kind of goes together. We'll just see what happens. I'm also going to look at, are they going to go off by themselves? Is there nothing harsh? Doesn't look like there's going to be anything harsh there. So let's try this. I think I'm going to take this down a little too, just to give me a little more security. I'm not going to worry about those pencil marks right this second. I'm just going to go lightly. It's okay if some of it is white and some of it is blue that you're inking, because everything is white and blue in the sky. So look at there. See? It totally worked out just fine. I did get a little bit of that right there, but that's okay. Why don't we go ahead and put another cloud right here? And this one will be on the horizon. So we'll just come in here. And this is totally making the stencil your own. So you're using it for something it wasn't really intended for, but that's okay, because we're making it work for us. There we go. So I think that's going to work fine. And then if we wanted to go over it with the other one, which we don't have to, but let's just lay it up there and see what it would look like. This one would actually come up here, and I think it actually would line up, but let's just see, because I did not, let me see if it does. I didn't actually line up anything. So you have these actual squares that you can line up. So let's see here. This one was here. So the actual squares, if I have a marker, let's see, I have a permanent marker. Don't worry about your glass mat because you can clean it with alcohol. Okay, so then you would pull this up here and here, and that would give you your second layer. So we could go through here now and fill this in and fill these in with our second layer. Now we'd have to be careful here because remember we did the other one. So I think I might just leave it alone. I'm trying to look here because then we move this over here. Let me check here. Let me move. Okay, then we did this. Let me find it. Yep, there we go. So then we moved it up there, which means that here is your actual line of your stencil. So that's your line of your stencil where you'd come in and did your other one. When you move this up here, you wouldn't want to ink past that. So you would have to take this here and put this right. Should we do it, guys? I don't know. It would be more intense if we did it. We could try. It also might show more of our mix match stuff. Okay, let's just do it. So I'm gonna go get Eastern Sky, and we're just gonna see what happens here. Remember guys, I've never done this either. So we are experimenting together, but this will give the top of the sky some color, which I kind of like. And I'm going lightly here, going lightly. I don't want it to be bam bam, you know. So I'm just gonna go so it's a little darker than the other. I don't want it as dark as the picture. But I do like the idea of that top part being covered of my sky up here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, do a little bit more right there. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna pull this up. Ooh, look at there. Okay, we do have a harsh line there, so let's see if we can recover from that. I think we probably can. So now let me find this edge again. It is right there on that one. So I need to fill in my magic markers again. So let me erase that one. Okay. So let me get that one in here. Now this is the first layer I did. I'm going to fill in with my micro and pen here my first layer. And now remember, we did come down here and we did this right here. So we're going to have to be careful . Gonna have to be careful right there. Okay, so let's put this up here and let's see what it shows us. Okay, whale. It's not going to show us a cover up of that harsh line right there, which I was hoping it would. So let me just fill this in real quick. Might have to improvise some. Okay, I do not want it to go down below here, so I'm just going to just do a little over that. Okay. Okay, then I'm going to come in here and go over this right there with my own objective here to darken it up like the rest of it, because I don't want that harsh line right there. It's where we're going rogue, guys, going rogue. But it's okay, because it's your art. See that? Totally your art. That's what makes it gorgeous. You can do that over here too if you want it to make sure it looks the same on this side. You can come down this way a little bit just to give it a little bit of a hue. Okay. Now I want to do a little bit right here. We're going to put that right there. And I'm going to line this up and see where I think. Actually, let me put this here again and write it. Do me a line. Okay, that just gives me a better ballpark, so I'm more accurate. Now, I am going to go really lightly here because I'm going over these details, but I'm also going to just go over that little top hump too, because I can, and because it gives me that light little poof, and I think it'll be pretty. Yep, it is. It is. It is. Now, if you want to, you can just come down here and kind of just go over a little bit, go all the way down to my edge too. Now we're gonna take this off and we will have our grass line. Then I'm gonna put this right on our grass line. Make sure it's straight here. Line this up with my line on the table. All right, so now, I did not use ultramarine. I went ahead and just used my Eastern Sky and my Iceberg. I don't want to go darker. They show it darker here, but I didn't want to go darker, because I was making my own sky. And I want this to be a cheerful, see how that's gonna go on there? We're gonna have a nice cheerful sky. Isn't that pretty? Okay. So now we'll go in with some green, and let me just wipe this blue up here real quick and get our marks off of here. Just so we don't have some transference. And then I'm just going to go in with Sweet Leaf, give us a nice cheerful green. And I'm going to go ahead and give us some green around here. Now we're not going to see a whole lot of this, but I thought this was a really cheerful green. It would be really pretty. But I'm going to go ahead and just a little around the edges, and then we'll look and see. Let's see how much of this we're actually going to see. Yeah, it's not going to be that much. So if you want to go ahead and add some more detail to this, we can totally do that. Let me see here off to the side. I have the Bold Prints Cling stamp. This is a red rubber stamp, and let me see. It is called Meadow Floor Bold Print. So we could add this. You just don't want it to go into the sky. So this is how you would do it. We would go ahead and just add some darker green. This is just green. Just green. Go ahead and go up a little farther. And I'm going to do this. Let's see, this is, which direction is this? Okay, so it's facing me. I'm going to turn this around, and I'm not going to go up as high as the tape. So I'm just going to put this down, and we'll go ahead and I'm going to use the card base. I'm just going to use the card base because we're going to cover the card base up anyways. And then let's just give it a press. All we're doing is doing this to get a little detail. So Not really worried about it. I would normally use printer paper here, but I'm kind of like winging this. Okay, so there we go. Make sure my finger doesn't have green on it before I pull this off. So that just gives some detail to the grass. Now, of course, all that stuff in the middle we're not going to see. So now we have our background, and this is going to sit right there, guys. Is that not adorable? So how about, and look, even my lines that I wrote, my little notches that I wrote here in pencil, they are even going to be covered up. So I don't even have to erase. Oh, I'm tickled. That is so cute. Now you could go and get bushes and put little bushes here or something if you wanted. You didn't want just a straight line there, but I'm loving it. I just think it's adorable. So I'm going to go with that. I think I'm happy with it just laying straight down on the paper. Make it easier to mail, because I do know that these go like hotcakes right off the table when I'm selling them. So I will go ahead and just let this lay down. I am super happy about this. It is so cute. Let's see, what sentiment am I putting? Okay, I'm putting the bird feeder on it. Okay. Oh my gosh, I think it's so cute. That extra stamp was perfect for the grass. All right. Now we'll put Miss Chicken over there. And these guys in here, like I had planned. Chicka, chicka, chick, chick, chick. The horsey's watching it all. I'm so glad the horse is now part of the stable. They're all so happy. Oh wait, his mud puddle's got to go under there. Gotta get the piggy's mud puddle under there. He is playing in the mud on this summery day. Oh yeah. You guys know how much I love these scenes. Y'all know it. I have so much fun with these guys. So much fun. And then come here, little bird house or bird feeder. Someone's got to have a good meal. Put you right behind there. Perfect. All right, we'll put a little glue up here and a little glue back here. And we'll make sure he fits right here in the grass. There we go. So there is our first card for today. I love the way the sky and the grass turned out on our little scene. I hope you like it too. Now, we're going to totally make a change here with the same collection, and we're going to make a baby card. Okay, for this card, my purpose of making this card with you is to show you how to assemble this rocking chair. Now, this rocking chair is from the Christmas rocking chair from Annie Williams. This is part of the same Country Christmas collection, and this has a lot of parts, but it makes a beautiful rocking chair. It can be used for Christmas, it can be used for fall, it can be used all times during the year. So think of all your holidays. But I immediately saw baby. I don't have a lot of baby stuff, and I just thought baby. I thought my children, I thought, welcome baby, and I remember the stork baby collection that had the stork in it, and I went ahead and pulled some of those sentiments from that stork collection, And so I just wanted to assemble this with you. And I thought white wood with the light brown wood would be really pretty. And so I've done the little accents in this. It's actually from an old background. It's actually a wash of a metallic paint that I had on an old background that I didn't use, and I just die cut from it, so it actually has a tiny bit of shine, but I meant for it to look like wood, which is why I chose it. So that is the theme I'm going for. I did go ahead and die cut a couple specialty papers for these out of Your Paper Insider, which I will be having a reveal of the new box coming out, I believe on Wednesday, and we will be doing the opening of it. I'm going to be recording it here soon, and I haven't seen it yet. It's still in the wraps, but I'll be opening it with you on video. So be watching for that, as it will be the new release. But this is their velveteen paper that I had in a previous box that I haven't had a chance to use yet, and it's fuzzy, so I thought it was perfect for the little baby's blanket. And then I've made a little pillow out of their fabric white paper, and a little piece of their shiny, kind of like it's not a glimmer, but it still has a sheen to it. It's really pretty. But then I made a little teddy bear out of some of my scraps as well. So all of these items are in Annie's collection, but I turned them into baby instead of Christmas. So I thought this would be fun. So I'm just going to show you the assembly here, and I'm going to kind of start from the bottom and go up. For the seat, I'm going to go ahead and add this center section, which is going to be your actual trim. This center piece is your trim. And you have this little indented line here, which shows you where this piece is going to fall. So you're going to line this piece up with that line, which is where you get that trim edge from. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one also. Okay, with these big pieces, you can use your fingers, but I always advise your reverse tweezers, or with tiny pieces, your little pickup tool. Those are both really good for this type of work. Okay, so for this, I'm going to attach this here. This is the back of the chair, but before I do so, I think I'm going to go ahead and add this little detail here on the top, just so I don't forget to add it before the blanket, because I could potentially do that, and I don't want to forget that this goes on before the blanket does. So I'm just doing that for my peace of mind. But and we could go ahead and now add this one here. Let's see. They have little detail marks right here where this piece sits on here. So I'm going to go ahead and line all of those little details up. They have like debossed lines on the dies, which helps you line things up. It's really nice to have those as like little road maps. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of glue on these thin pieces, and then we'll put the majority of it up here. Oh, I didn't need to do all that because we're just gluing down here at the bottom. So just add glue at the bottom. Do as I say, not as I do. Learn from my mistakes. That's what we should all do, right? Learn from our mistakes. We'll learn from Melanie's mistakes. There we go. So that's what you're wanting, is to glue right down there at the bottom. And it gives you those dowels so that it gives extra support too. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, use my tweezers, and pick up these little pieces of trim, and we're going to add those to the rockers. And again, it's got a little line there for you to follow, so you know exactly where to place it down. I know you can't see it on the camera, but it's there, I promise. But if not, if you're, for some reason your die cut machine isn't strong enough to leave the indentions, that's another good reason for me to have this video for you to come back to. It's good to have visual for things like this that have a lot of pieces to it. I know a lot of people are visual learners as well, so that's why when there's a die like this, I like to sometimes go the extra mile and give you the visual. So here is this. It goes right along the bottom edge, but not all the way to the tip. It actually starts at the back tip and comes forward. Now these are going to do the same thing as those dowels did, and these are going to line up on here like so. And they kind of overlap each other, so you don't realize one's on top of the other. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue on these little pegs here. And then I will go ahead and line these legs, the bottom of the legs up with the pegs at the bottom of the rockers. Just turn that sideways, hopefully, so you can see better. The idea is you don't see both. You're going to move that. There we go. It's a little fiddly, but once you get it there, it will be good. There we go. Just had to fiddle it around a little bit so you can see that. Okay. I'll do the same thing here. Your smaller ones go on the left and your larger go on the right. That's with both handles and rockers. Okay. Now, for the handles, they have 3 pieces. So I decided to do the last piece as the extra, the highlight or the wooden piece, I guess you'd say. I have both white and this light color wood in my craft room. So that's what made me think of having both on the rockers. Now, in the example, they use 3 colors of wood on the packaging. So this would actually be 3 tones of wood here. And you end up seeing one of the tones back here, one here, and then one here, which is interesting. But it really does give a 3-dimensional look that way. Okay. And then this is going to line up on here and on the dowels down here. A little ink on my fingers there from our last project, but it's not coming off, so that's good. But I hate to get it on this white paper. Yeah, once you got them lined up, you won't see them. So just take your time. You could also take your tweezers and come in here and on that really thin one and just do that. Yep, that's all it needed. There you go. See that there? So you got the 2 rockers, and then you've got the, it's just a really light color, you know, the really light wood. So now this one, I'm wanting to have the blanket hang over here, and then it kind of come off the edge here, because I'm wanting it to be coming out from behind the handle. So I'm kind of going rogue here, and seeing if I can make it happen. These are long enough to where I think it's going to work. And then it'll be like that. And it'll really look natural. So that's where I'm going with this now. I'm going to hook a little bit of glue up here. I don't want to use too much in case it didn't work. I'd have to pull it off, but I'm thinking it's going to work. So I'm going to put a little bit right there. So let's see. I want to be able to see a little bit of the arm there so I can glue it, know where to glue it, but I want it also to come and kick over here so it's behind it. So cute. All right. So now we will place that there and have it come down below the actual blanket and attach down here. I'm going to hold that a second because it's attaching to the velveteen paper. This is very fuzzy, so I want it to attach there. Isn't this such a sweet idea for a baby card? I had a white rocker like this in my baby's room, my daughter's room, when she was born. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and add these last two pieces here to the rocker. We'll add this one right here. That one's pretty much right over that. And then we have this little itty bitty piece here. If I can grab it. And it is going to go just like that. Right there. All right, so it has some detail as well. So now we can decide where we want our pillow, which we have a bunny on, and where we want our teddy bear, which could also go on our chair, or we could always put our teddy bear on the floor or vice versa, you know. So let's go ahead and build our card. I went ahead and did one of the arches. And all of the supplies I use in today's video, I will link down in the visual supply list below. So if you see anything I've used and I've not mentioned it, I played a whole lot in this video. I mean, behind the scenes and everything in the making of these cards. So I didn't mainly keep track of everything I was using. So if you see something though, it will be linked. I'll take time and I will link everything down below in the visual supply list so you can find it. That's just easier than sitting here showing you a whole bunch of products. I just thoroughly had fun making these. This is a really sweet collection. Okay, look at that. I really wanted a masculine little boy card, and I think we got it. Now I've got a few little sentiments here, and then of course we've got our little decorations. And so let's see, I have your little miracle is here. Congratulations and hello baby. So we could just go easy, hello baby. Or we could do congratulations and then your little miracle is here. It's a little big. I think you could just do congratulations. And I like that. Okay, and I think I'm going to keep everything in the chair. I think it's really cute having everything, the little color and everything in the chair. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We will go ahead and, should I pop it up? I kind of like that this bunny rabbit's arm is not glued down. Look at that. Is that not adorable? That was not intentional, guys. That was not intentional. So let me glue the actual chair down first. I'm just going to glue the big pieces. I'm going to put this over to the side a little bit. It's not dead center then. And then we'll do congratulations. Go ahead and glue him to there because he's adorable with the paw on there. And then we will sit them on there together. And how about we pop them up with just a little bit of adhesive, just so they get to sit high together. We'll attach them to with it, that way they're not going anywhere. So cute. There we go. So there is our fourth card from Annie's collection. And like I said, this is very fuzzy, and this is also fabric right here on the pillow. So a sweet little boy's card for a little baby that was just come into the world. So here are all 4 cards for today. I hope you have enjoyed playing with this collection with me and seeing the inspiration extra cards. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.